In the heart of a frozen Chicago winter, under a highway overpass where no one looked and no one cared, a 10-year-old boy named Noah Bennett wrapped his too large coat tighter around his small frame. His shoes were soaked, his hands numb, but he'd survived worse. That's what he was good at, surviving. He wasn't waiting for help. He knew better. No one came for kids like him. But that night, something changed. As Noah turned into a forgotten alley behind a boarded-up bakery,
He froze, a sound, not a siren.
not a bottle clattering, but a cry, a soft, broken sob, a child's sob. Noah moved toward it, slow, cautious, the way only a street kid knows how. Behind a dumpster, a little girl, no older than 5, sat curled up, shivering in a thin pink jacket, her face streaked with tears. "Hey," Noah whispered. "Are you okay?" The girl didn't speak, just shook harder. He hesitated. The street had taught him not to get involved, not to care. But something in her eyes, something cracked open in him. Without another word, he pulled off his coat and draped it around her shoulders. "Come on," he said softly. "I know a place." They made their way to an old boiler room Noah used when the cold got cruel. But as they passed another alley, another sound stopped him in his tracks, a faint whimper. He turned, stepped behind a trash bin, and found another girl, smaller, dirtier, clutching a broken doll. Her eyes locked on Noah, terrified. Then the first girl gasped, "Chloe!" The second girl blinked, "Emily!" And in that moment, the two girls ran into each other's arms. It wasn't just a reunion, it was a rescue. And for Noah, it was the beginning of something much bigger than survival. It was the beginning of a story that would change everything. Noah stood frozen as the two girls clung to each other like lifelines. This wasn't chance. This wasn't random. They knew each other. That meant someone had taken them, together or separately. And if they were here, alone, scared, someone dangerous was out there. Noah didn't ask questions. He took them both into the boiler room. It wasn't much, but it was warmer than the street. He started a small fire in a rusted can and handed them half a sandwich he'd been saving. The older girl finally spoke. "My name's Emily Walker," she whispered. "She's Chloe Brooks." Noah's eyes widened. "Walker," he looked at the label. Inside Chloe's coat, embroidered in gold, Walker. Noah had heard that name before. Walker, as in Thomas Walker, the billionaire real estate mogul with towers in Manhattan, LA, and half of downtown Chicago. These girls weren't runaways. They were taken. The next morning, Noah did the unthinkable. He took them to Evelyn Price, the elderly owner of Maggie's Market, the only person who had ever shown him any ounce of kindness. When Evelyn saw the girls, she gasped. "Lord, Noah, what happened?" "They're in trouble," he said. "I don't know how, but they need help." She didn't hesitate. She brought them to the back room, gave them warm food, and made a call, not to the police, but to someone she trusted more. Alan Whitmore, a former journalist turned private child advocate. When Alan arrived, Noah told him everything: the alley, the coats, the name Walker. Alan's face went pale. "You may have just saved the daughter of one of the most powerful men in the country." Plans were made fast. Alan arranged a transfer to a secure home outside the city. But before they could even exit the alley, 2 men in black coats appeared. Noah's instinct screamed. He grabbed the girl's hands and ran, through side streets, across icy sidewalks, over chain-link fences. The men chased them relentlessly, shouting into walkie-talkies, boots pounding just behind them. Noah didn't stop. He didn't look back. He
ran until his legs burned, until his chest ached, until he couldn't breathe. And then he saw it. The abandoned Belmont rail yard, rusted boxcars, forgotten tracks. A perfect place to hide. They ducked behind a stack of pallets. No way out, the footsteps closed in. We know you're in there. Noah dropped to his knees, shielding the girls. There was nothing left to do, nowhere to run. And then tires screeched.
Black SUV burst into the yard, headlights slicing through the dark. The back door flung open. "Get in!" a deep voice shouted. Noah hesitated. Another trick? Then the voice came again, calm, urgent. "I'm Marcus Lane. Thomas Walker sent me."
I'm here to help. That was all Noah needed. He grabbed Chloe, pulled Emily up, and they ran for the car. Gunshots cracked the air, but they made it. They dove into the SUV, the door slammed shut, and they sped off into the night. Safe for now.
The SUV tore through the city like a shadow. In the back seat, Noah held the girls close. His chest heaved, his heart pounded, his hands shook, not from fear, but from something new. He had never protected anyone before. Marcus Lane, the driver, didn't speak much. His jaw was clenched, eyes fixed on the road. But when he glanced into the rearview mirror, he gave Noah the smallest nod. "You did good, kid," he said. "Real good." 30 minutes later, they turned onto a long, winding drive flanked by trees. At the end stood a massive estate in Lake Forest. White stone, glass windows, security cameras on every corner. Waiting on the steps was a man in a dark overcoat, hair streaked with grey. Thomas Walker. As soon as the SUV stopped, the back door flew open and Emily jumped out. "Daddy!" Walker fell to his knees, arms wide. He caught her mid-run, holding her like he never wanted to let go again. Tears streamed down his face. "Emily! Oh my God!" Chloe stood frozen until Walker opened his arm again. She leapt in too. Noah stayed in the car, watching, alone. Again, his job was done. It was time to disappear. He opened the door quietly, trying to slip away, but Walker saw him. "Wait," he said. Noah
froze. "Who are you?" Noah looked down. His voice barely a whisper. "No one." He meant it. He believed it. But Walker didn't. He stepped forward.
Studied the boy, the tattered shoes, the worn-out coat, the eyes too old for his age. But more than that, he saw something else. "Bravery! You're not no one," Walker said firmly. "You're the reason I'm holding my daughter right now." Noah shifted uncomfortably. "You saw her," Walker continued, "when no one else did. You cared. When the world turned a blind eye, you didn't walk away." He knelt down, met Noah's eyes. "You didn't just save Emily. You saved me too." Noah's lip trembled. He looked away, blinking fast. No one had ever said that to him before. No one had ever seen him before. And now, someone did. Walker stood up and nodded toward the house. "You're coming inside." Inside that mansion for the first time in years. Noah had a hot bath, clean clothes, a meal he didn't have to steal. He didn't speak much. He didn't know how. But when Emily hugged him goodnight and whispered, "You're my hero," he believed it. Just a little. And when Walker tucked him into a guest room, blanket pulled up tight, lights dimmed low. Noah didn't say it out loud, but something in him whispered, "Maybe I belong." A few quiet days passed. The world outside buzzed with headlines about a missing heiress returned, but inside the Walker estate, things moved slowly, gently. Noah tried to stay invisible. It was what he was used to. But Thomas Walker wouldn't let him fade. One night they sat in the study, just the two of them, a crackling fireplace, a photo of Emily on the desk. Walker leaned forward, voice low. "I want to adopt you," he said. Noah's eyes shot up. "Not out of obligation," Walker added. "Not as payment. I've written checks, Noah. But this is different." He nodded toward the photo. "She calls you her hero, and truth is, so do I." Noah didn't answer. He didn't know how. He'd never been offered anything that couldn't be taken away. "You don't have to decide now," Walker said softly. "Just know this door will always be open." Noah looked down at his hands. Hands that had once only known survival. But now, maybe they could learn how to hold something more. Meanwhile, Alan Whitmore had been digging. The name behind the kidnapping surfaced fast. Victor Harland, a ruthless investor with everything to gain from hurting Thomas Walker. He'd planned to use Emily as leverage in a billion-dollar deal. But now, thanks to Noah's courage, Whitmore had the evidence, and the girls, to bring him down. Within days, Harland was arrested, charged with kidnapping, conspiracy, attempted extortion. Weeks passed, then months. Noah Bennett became Noah Walker. He started school. Struggled at first, still flinched when people raised their voice, still slept with the light on. But he showed up. Every day, and slowly, he began to believe. He mattered. Chloe, now living nearby with a loving foster family, visited often. She, Emily, and Noah became inseparable. They weren't just survivors anymore. They were something bigger. They were family. One spring morning, Noah returned, alone, to the alley where it all began. The city moved around him, fast and uncaring, but in that quiet, shadowed space, he whispered a single word. "Thank you." The wind took it. Like a secret between the city and the boy it once forgot. He turned and walked away, not as a nobody, but as a kid who saved a life, uncovered the truth, and found something he never thought he'd have, a home.